Well, that was so long ago, I can't hardly even remember.
We weren't so interested in philanthropy back then.
Ginny, Jarrett, and I both ended up at the University of Georgia back in the 1970s, which seems like a long time ago.
Late 70s.
I'm I'm a Roanoke native. Ginny was a Georgia gal from Savannah, and we happened to end up at the same sorority house. That we didn't really know each other that well.
We didn't really know each other that well. There were 150 other women, and we both ended up in Roanoke after college. Kandy came back after 5 years.
Right, yeah, about,
And I came in '79, and then we joined another women's leadership group together, the Junior League of Roanoke Valley, and it cemented our friendship.
Right. Reconnected after a while.
Reconnected. 100 years ago, we had the women's volunteer in the community leadership movement started by the Junior League, but the women's philanthropy movement is, of course, much newer, and it's women-powered philanthropy.
Mm-hmm.
When we first heard about it, there were 13 organizations like the one we started.
Mm-hmm.
And now there are over 200 in the United States that are based on the same model, the Washington Women's Foundation model, or other models like Impact 100, where the organizations only give out $100,000 grants. We, in our foundation, give out anywhere from $30,000 on up. We've given several hundred thousand, which has been very meaningful.
Well, one of the questions that when I think about, what is it that caused us to get going? What was the one thing that really propelled us to launch this organization? I would say it was making this decision when we identified these women that of different age brackets that we knew had these really incredible reputations within the community. Some whom we knew really well and some whom we didn't know hardly at all. And I think what happened, it was really pretty cool. We invited them to lunch, and we
one by one
had these individual lunch meetings, and we'd sit down and broadly talk about this concept that we'd heard about. That at the end of those luncheons, we ended up with this wonderful group of women that became the founding board members. And from that, we just knew, it was without hesitation, that we had this
a great idea.
We had this the foundation for the Roanoke Women's Foundation.
One of the biggest lessons is it's absolutely about the people that you can convince to work with you, and then how you kind of strategically give them appropriate responsibilities, and that the more people you can bring in and get involved, the more invested they're going to be in the cause, in this case women's pooled philanthropy.
One of the things I learned along the way that about myself, and not necessarily learn, but kind of reinforce what I already did know, I love startup work. I love startups. I love creating from the beginning, more so than just the day-to-day. I like creating from scratch. I also like turnaround work too. That I've come to know about myself. Taking something from nothing, either starting from scratch or improving upon. And that's been really neat.
One of the great things about this organization is it's not our friends that people did. It's people we many times didn't know or hardly know.
My friends won't even.
So we've met.
But they haven't.
We've met some great people.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the cool part.
And we've discovered some great talents.
Yes.
A great thing about our organization is you can be a happy check writer. You write a check and hopefully vote, or you can be on any or all of our numerous committees. So you can be very involved or just mail your check in, and we've got the whole spectrum.
If I can say that as a part of this community that I did a little something that helped improve my hometown and an area that, you know, has been in part of my family for a long time, then I feel like that was honorable and good work. And at the end of the day, I don't know that there's anything better than you can do, really. And I'm really proud of that, I guess. Plus, I've met some really wonderful
Really
people.
great women. Yeah, it's
I
been
mean,
fun.
really cool women, and I'm really happy about that.
I think one of the things, there are many things to be proud of. One of them is that so many of us came together that really didn't know each other all that well to make this community better, and it succeeded. Specifically, when we started the Community College Access Program with our first $100,000 grant, that's significant. The difference it makes in a child's life when they find out they can go to college is incredible. And I think that as soon as we made that grant, a local corporation came behind us with a like grant, and it's made the program funded.
It's been terrific
and available.
Really.
And that's made not just a difference in our community right now, but for future generations. And that sticks in my heart.
Right.
Well, one of the things that surprised me when we first put our board together is how easy it was for 7 really strong, experienced women to make decisions together. We were all really used to leading organizations of all kinds, and yet there was never anything but unity, really, about how we would go forward and that we would go forward, and everybody was very generous with their time and their own resources.
Yes. That comes, I think, when there's such clarity and there's such, there's just such clarity about where you're trying to get to.
There was never a question.
We knew what it was we were trying to do.
That's right.
And where we were trying to get to. And so it was just a matter of figuring out the detail, right? And so there wasn't a disagreement about kind of where we were trying to land. It was just how do we get from here to there in the initial, at least in the initial year, I guess. And so all those early discussions and meetings were really just about, again, that process of getting us there. And that was really kind of the fun stuff too, because you have all these great ideas from all these people who had wonderful experiences and great ideas and great enthusiasm.
Long-term history in our community.
And it was really fun. Those were really, really fun meetings.
Several things come to mind. I think we, as members join, we should encourage them to be parts of our committees. So our membership committee continues to grow and have our existing voices and new voices that would give us ideas of bringing in new members. And then I think we have to continually refine and evolve our grants process, also inviting any woman that wants to be a part of that, which is kind of the nut of what we're doing. If I had to do something over again, I think I would have, and we still may do this, find a way to have a headquarters, a room, an office, something where we can house all of our supplies. And
we have a lot of
and we
stuff.
have a lot of awards we could display.
Yes, we do. We have been really blessed.
We
'cause
have
gotten lovely awards and acknowledgments over the years. It's really
And what's so great
really
about
nice.
those is every time something like that happens or there's a piece in the paper, we get new members from it.
Yes, we do.
Or new organizations that apply for grants, which
Right.
we're so welcoming of as well.
You know, people ask sometimes, or they have this idea that it's hard to think about making a contribution of $2,100, which it is. I mean, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me, I know. And you know, the whole idea of that, it was, we came up with that amount in part because that's what the Washington Women's Foundation had used, and other like groups, in order that we had enough money to make really these impactful
We wanted to make a
grants.
difference.
But I can say, and I've said this 100 times, I'm just an old work and schlep. Every year when the time comes to make our contribution or to write the check, I get a big gulp in my throat and I think, oh my goodness, now I co-founded this group and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pay for it. But it's a very intentional thing for me.
Yeah.
You know, I make a commitment to myself and to this community that this is a way that I want to support this place I call my home. And while it might not be for everybody, because I understand it's not, and even pool giving's not for everybody. We've heard that from friends and others, and I accept and appreciate that. We invite everybody to be a part that believes in such a thing. We've got great information on our website. We have a great Facebook page. We encourage people to learn more about us. We have talked to any and everybody that wants to know more about it. Give us a call. Ginny and I love to talk it up ourselves. Or anybody else that you might know that's a member of the Women's Foundation.
I have one more thing that I think might be appropriate, maybe earlier in this conversation. It had been Kandy and I for months, and the night before we met with the board, I lay there thinking, tomorrow this will no longer be ours, just ours. Tomorrow it will no longer just be our baby. It belongs to the members. This organization belongs to the members.
Well, here's what I've always said. What have I always said, and why I loved it so? It's the most democratic organization I've ever been a part of, from start to finish. The voting, the decision making, everything about it's just
one
democratic.
One woman, one ballot.
Yep. It doesn't matter. I don't care what your opinion is, what you think about whatever. You get one vote, just like everybody else, whether you participate in the process or not. As far as the grant process, it's the democratic process that makes it so great and so appealing too.
So when people call us and try to influence us, I usually say, well, you're going to need to call 150 other people too.
That's right. Let's go do something else,
Let's
Ginny.
go do something else. What would you like to do next?
No
I'd
kidding.
do anything with you.
I'd do it with you too, girl.